Hello, everyone. Hi, and welcome to this space. So, today is a very special day. We had a new moon, Cancer. We had a new moon, Cancer solar eclipse. That was last year. Who was this? Oh, the lovers. What? The lovers just came out. And the King of Pentacles is also there. And the Page of Swords is the bottom of the deck. It's this message, though: an army of lovers cannot lose. And with this rainbow here, it feels like they're walking down this path from the sun card, like they're coming down. That's what it feels like. An army of lovers cannot lose. I don't know. So whatever was supposed to happen for me today, I believe it happened. And it happened. Oh, look, see, yeah. The page at the cut, the Page of Swords was just at the bottom of the deck, but at the cut, it's the lovers in the sun. It feels like they're going down that path, which is interesting because last time it was about going up the path. So maybe there's going to be some folks that we cross. Maybe ancestors, spirit guides are coming through in a way today. I don't know. I decided to, just to be fun. I like to have fun. Yeah, whatever it was I was supposed to discover, I believe I found it. I'm going to try not to do too much because I'm doing a water fast today. And sometimes when I do too much, I get hungry. It was only bad, really, when I woke up. I was also a huge fan of the spread that I did earlier today. I really enjoyed it. And I timestamped it. So, you can go right to the end if you want. It's about, like, once all the cards were out, it was about maybe like 20 to 30 minutes. Excuse me. So let's see what the Farmer's Almanac has for us today. During an annular eclipse, the moon, being close to apogee, appears smaller and doesn't quite cover the sun, thereby leaving a ring or annulus of sunlight around the perimeter. Annular solar eclipse visible in parts of North America. New moon Gemini. Hey Mimi, how are you doing? I'm getting that portal energy. Oh, ooh. I've been pretty good. My day has been pretty chill. I feel not whole, but I feel like a puzzle just sort of completed itself, and I literally had all the pieces this whole time. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Um, Slept, took a nap. I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter. I've been chilling, taking it easy. My license came today. That was fun. I don't know where it is, but it came today. It looks different, but it's legit, I guess. It expires in, is that 2026? So on my, oh, is that my 33rd birthday? Yeah, it expires on my 33rd birthday. So that'll be something to look forward to, I guess. I mean, I'm 28, so it's not too whatever, but yeah. Glad to hear it. I figured I'd come and do this before. But so it reminds me of a portal because it's like it's an energy of a portal, but also it is It's like the sun is this ring of fire, right? It's a solid. It's a circle of fire that is filled. But when the sun comes in, or when the moon comes in, then it's like it hollows out the middle and it creates this portal. It creates a space. But we still have to pass through the perimeter of fire to get there. We still have to pass through the ring of fire. That's the Six of Wands and the Spencers. And the Golem was a card. I think the Golem actually fell out when I was putting all the cards away. I don't remember though. And the last time I saw the Golem, it was an energy of us needing to discover our soul, basically, and being asked by whoever summoned us to find that which animates us. Because we're not meant to be like, little robots, even though, a lot of times it's easier. Page of Wands and the Five of Swords hold very interesting. I feel like it feels like they mirror in ways. Bottom of the deck is the Ten of Swords. Oof, look at that. This is Gemini. That's a full moon, like full moon Gemini. I don't know what planet that is in Gemini. Third deck in the Gemini. Which, no, it happened in the second because it was 19 degrees. This reminds me of the imp. Those little things remind me of the imp and the Spencers, and the imp is on the Hanged Man. Yeah, see, it's passing through the ring of fire to claim something. The ring of fire is very much the eye of the storm, but it's like instead of it being a storm, it's fire. The Five of Swords in this deck takes the perspective of the bullied, the underdog, the oppressed, and it depicts them rising up. Now, like shame and blame and guilt in the back, they hold no power over this individual anymore. And in that, they discover something within self. It's like this is a sort of world tree energy within self, but it's like a twig because it hasn't had much time to grow. But that's the fire. It feels like the fire would still deter a lot of people. What? Was that new? I don't know why. Like right before I started this, I was like, I want to watch Josie and the Pussycats. So I'm gonna watch Josie and the Pussycats after this. I can't even eat any popcorn. It's fine. I'll drink some more water and eat Josie and the Pussycats before I fall asleep. There is something that needs to be faced. Oh. Okay. So there's this energy here, like what we desire the most lies on the other side. Also, we see the different phases of the moon in the different cups and the chalices, right? Also, if this were total solar eclipse, yeah, that's what it's feeling like. It's feeling a little bit like, and then the moon is like passing. I guess it's passing. So it's like this, and then it comes back up. But it's like the world card. Oops. The world card is behind this Ten of Swords. Am I back? That was so weird. I was like, okay, I guess it's over. It's all in three parts. The first one came out in 2017. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I just look at the screen and it's like, you are offline. I was like, well, I guess I'm done. And then it came back. I was like, okay. It feels like whatever we desire most is to be free of whatever this Ten of Swords situation is. Right? Instead of us sort of struggling with integrating the head and the heart, we desire to come into a position of power with that King of Swords instead of being this Ten of Swords. But it doesn't happen until we stand up for ourselves, until we face whatever challenge it is that we have to face with that Five of Swords. Standing up to the shadows, those dark thoughts and things like that, right? I guess that's it. I mean, last time I saw this, I was like, it's interesting. So we have the fire here, which represents Leo. We have the diamond here, which represents Taurus. Both of these fitting. We have the energy of the sun or a star that's representing Scorpio, and turtle fish thing, a fish that's representing Aquarius. All of these make sense. All of these are like not too far of a stretch, except for Scorpio being the sun. But again, it feels like Scorpio being the sun, it's this energy. Once we rise up to face whatever it is that we need to face, then we can begin sort of like living in the light and growing into our own personal power. The world is Saturn, it's fixed energy. So there's Gemini, Pisces, and Saturn. Gemini holds the sun, the moon, the north node, and Mercury. Pisces holds, I want to say Uranus for some reason. Pisces holds Neptune and Jupiter right now. And then Saturn is retrograding in Aquarius. Mercury is retrograde in Gemini. And it is squaring Neptune. The sun, the moon, and Mercury are squaring Neptune and Pisces. This is Aquarius. So this is Saturn and Aquarius here. Also, the King of Swords is here, which is also Aquarius. So, yeah, there we go. Yeah. So this is what Saturn and Aquarius is asking us to do. It's sort of like take our power, stand up for ourselves, right? Neptune and Jupiter are putting us in a position to realize that what it is that we want, we are capable of having, but it may require, some eclipsing old things out, eclipsing new things in, shifting space. Gemini is the resistance. So all of the resistance here is in the mind, and it's in our ability or a lack of an ability to see and perceive and operate within, it's not necessarily operating within certain polarities. It kind of is. And again, it reminds me of that dolphin card that came out in Miss Remy Healings' video yesterday. This and that are true. This is struggling. This is an either or energy when it can be both. And that's the thing about that cup that she's holding. In the middle, it's the space of both. It's almost like when you reach the North Pole, every direction from there is south, because that's the northmost you can go. It doesn't matter if the cup is like half empty or half full. They're all fuller than, that. Almost. Which is why the North Node is there. Which is why the North Node is in Gemini, because the North Node is asking us to be brave and to do those things to make what we wish to experience our reality. It's being highlighted and illuminated, but it feels like the brain is sort of making us think that it's not possible or that it'll take longer than it may actually take. Aries is empty as far as I know. Leo is empty as far as I know. Sagittarius holds the south node. Mars is about to enter. Is Mars already in Leo? It was at like 29 degrees the other day, yesterday. Sold your car yesterday. Oh, wow. There you go. So Black Moon Lilith. Is this Black Moon Lilith? Yeah, Black Moon Lilith is in Aries. No, no, hold up, wait. No, Lilith, the asteroid Lilith is in Aries. Black Moon Lilith is in Taurus. Black Moon Lilith is 25 degrees Taurus. She about to sit on Algo. She about to conjunct my moon. That's fun. So Chiron is in Aries. Mars is still in Cancer. Leo holds the Hygeia. Sagittarius has Juno retrograde and the South Node. So Juno is retrograding to form a tighter trine with Chiron, which is interesting because Juno, being the space of Hera or Juno, it is her inability to control the actions of her husband. It's like this feels like the energy of Juno right now. And I feel like the chironic sort of influence is that again, like Juno can't control Hera can't control Zeus. Zeus goes and he does whatever he wants because he's the king of the gods, and the only thing she can do is punish the mortals who aren't even asking to be taken by Zeus, and punish their children who again, it's like it's a Keres energy. There's an energy of like goddesses who can't control the thing that they wish to control, so they go out and they cause others to suffer. Right. Ceres can't keep her daughter Persephone with her constantly. So when she's with Hades or Pluto, then everything dies on Earth. Hera, Juno, can't control Zeus, Jupiter, Jove. And so, she punishes the mothers and the children that result from his infidelity. The only thing in fire right now is South Node and Sagittarius, holding the space of what we're coming out of. I actually love this for that. Because it feels like with South Node Sagittarius, again, it's this energy of like the things that we wish to pursue, but we don't because we've been convinced otherwise. Like maybe it doesn't make sense or it's not advisable because of this or that, or it goes against whatever we've been convinced to believe, even though it has no real bearing on our heart or, the condition of our heart as far as it waxing worse or getting darker. Because Sagittarius, it's an energy. It reminds me of some card in the Threads of Fate Oracle, where it's like you desire freedom so badly that you don't do the things that will actually lead you to be free. It's the lack of doing what needs to be done in the moment that leads to further entrapment later. Which is why, North Node Gemini is coming out like Nike. Just do it. What was that? I saw on Twitter. It was something like, or maybe it was It was on Instagram. There's this Greek girl that I follow, Leah Hetzakis, and it was like Nike honors the Greek goddess who is their namesake, and then someone was like by like butchering Greek and doing something to the culture or something like that. Hey Zelda. That's what this sort of like ring of fire is, though. Whatever this is, because again, the perimeter is still fire, so it's not gonna not burn. But it's oh snap! I think I remember you saying that. Where was it? Come on, thought. Where were you? It isn't. It's still fire, but it's not gonna burn. Because it's like as soon as if you go quick enough, and if you just hold a body part in the fire, then it's gonna cook like anything would cook. It reminds me of earlier, like I was standing at the door. We have like a glass ish like screen door type thing without a screen. So it's a screen door, but it ain't got a screen in it. And I was standing in front of it and the door was open. I was like, oh my gosh, it like that sun is intense. But I had to let the dog out. And when I stepped outside, it wasn't as hot as I thought it would be. Like the sun was more intense inside than it was outside. So it was cooler. I don't know. I don't need to drag that. I don't need to drag this on. This is what it is. There's something that we're in the space of facing. Something that we wish to be free from, something that we wish to be resolved, something that we wish to be something that also there's an energy here of us trying to do a whole bunch of internal alchemy to integrate or find something that is missing, trying to put the pieces together, but no matter how you assemble the pieces, something is always missing. It's held here and it's being offered. The missing piece is being offered as we sit with, face, rise up against whatever it is for us to sit with, face, or rise up against. It's growing into a personal power, but again, it reminds me of the reading earlier because it doesn't feel like it's an aspect of power that we're necessarily used to. If it was, then it would be a much bigger tree. It's something that was. Oh, that's the Empress. Okay. What is the star? I think Russell mentioned it in Ream's live yesterday. It's like there's a star that we're going to be able to see that we usually can't see because other things around it are too bright. Because it was this energy of like, we have to turn off the lights. It's like we can't be so afraid of we can't be so afraid of the dark that we can't turn off the lights. Because maybe there's something in that we'll see. Oh well, that came out. Yeah, Lauren gave me a shout out. Untitled Tarot. She gave me a shout out. Shout out to Untitled Tarot, Lauren. And then I saw them views go up, and of course, I didn't get triggered, but old Patrick would have been triggered. Like, oof, attention, no, don't like, don't share, don't subscribe. Oh snap! Fives are everywhere. And this is an individual. It's like at their core, they are light, but in their extremities, there's darkness. And it's knowing how to integrate, knowing how to utilize both. And that's another thing. It's like there's an aspect of self that hasn't been utilized. This is the lovers, which was the succubus. It was the succubus, the clam, the Empress and the Six of Swords. It was the one who was sort of like overconfident or overly prioritized certain gifts, aspects, or abilities and neglected others. And if I put these out sort of in the way that they came out, the Five of Swords is standing up to the Ten of Swords. It's having the courage to move. And it's like you don't even necessarily need resolution. And this blade, it's a little battered. It's a little dusty on the sides. You see that? The hilt is shiny. Thank ya. And again, it's this energy of like Scorpio coming out as the sun, or Scorpio sitting in the space of the sun. Taurus is the diamond, Leo is the fire, Aquarius is the fish, and it's the water bearer. So, not too far of a stretch of the imagination. But Scorpio being the sun, the one link that I can find between Scorpio and the sun would be Scorpio being represented by the eagle being representative of Zeus, Zeus's Roman name being Jove, and being jovial, lighthearted, carefree. But then that takes us to Sagittarius and that joviality. Joviality is something that Sagittarius like gets, right? Because Jupiter. And Juno is in Sagittarius. So at the same time that Juno is retrograding to form a trine to Chiron, she's also retrograding closer to the South Node. But the South Node moves like nodes move retrograde through the zodiac. So yeah, there's something that Juno is facing. And I love that. Because it felt like thanks, Zelda. It felt like Demeter, Ceres, was resolving her daughter issues. And it feels like Juno is going to be standing up, is going to be voicing her opinion, telling her truth to Zeus, to Jupiter. Jupiter is in Pisces, Juno is in Sagittarius. So there is a little bit of a square energy there. And Jupiter is about to retrograde into Aquarius. Now they're fairly like loose aspects, but it's like Juno standing up and handling this square is going to create an opportunity. It's going to move from a square to a sextile. It's going to go from challenge to opportunity. And it feels like this world card is a new dynamic and interaction between Juno and Jupiter. The opportunity for that is here. It's not a trine, so it's not necessarily going to just happen. It starts as a square and then it turns into a sextile. Overcome the challenge to get an opportunity. And it's an opportunity to sort of like have this healthy relationship that she's always wanted. And it's an opportunity for her to come into a newness of her own energy when she's not so busy being like vexed by what her husband is doing. There's something in the space of that piece, it allows it to be born within her. So her ring of fire is approaching her, not only approaching, her ring of fire is confronting her counterpart with truth, right? Yeah, that's this energy all day long. And again, Carice is doing the same, but Carice is hers is an energy of acceptance. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe that's what I'll do next. I'll run through the goddesses. The only two I can think of though, it's Juno and Carice. Aphrodite is married to Hephaestus. So Venus is married to Vulcan. And Vulcan is like the ugliest god, and she like well, she is Venus Aphrodite. So on one hand, it's like, is she gonna stop entertaining people? But it's like there's no sort of attraction to her husband, so there's some things that could be worked out there. Who else is there? Who is Diana? Diana is Artemis. I don't know who she's. I think Artemis is unwed. I think she's like a virgin or something. And I think the Vestal Virgins fall under the domain of like Artemis, even though it's associated with like Vesta. What other goddesses are there? Hera, Artemis, Athena. I don't know anything about her and who she's connected to. Aphrodite, married to Vulcan, Hephaestus. I don't know. Maybe it's something. It's something to do. We'll see. But that's what this is. But like the weirdest thing is that it's almost like Jupiter would be like, "Oh well, I didn't know that like it hurt you because you never said anything." I did think it was kind of strange that you like tormented, some of my kids and their mothers, but at the same time, I was, on to the next one. So it's almost like, well, you never said anything, so I didn't know that it bothered you. And then Juno is like, well, of course, like you're my husband. Why wouldn't it bother me that you're going around knocking up mortals? And you would almost think, well, again, it's her inability to face her husband. Because it's like you would almost think that Juno, being like goddess of the hearth and like of marriage and stuff, would protect the women who were sort of being taken advantage of, who were being taken. But again, like she couldn't face her husband, so what was she supposed to do? And in her lack of being able to handle that reality, it caused her to act way outside of what she stands in the place of. Which is again why what is supposed to be this world tree energy is a twig. I don't know how this applies to us. I mean, I'm sure it applies in ways that I've kind of sort of already talked about or mentioned, right? There are things that we have just grown to live with because we can't face them for whatever reason. And in our making sacrifices and compromises to accept that which we naturally sort of don't really find acceptable, we cause ourselves to suffer in ways. And I don't know. Let's see. I'll just look. I'll try to finish this. Oh, I thought it was like 25 minutes. No, it's 30. I know it's one of the spirit cards. It might be the Seeker. No, no, it's a two pager. The explorer? Yeah. Explorers may also have a tendency to refuse to sacrifice their freedom in the immediate, risking their ability to survive slash build for the future. Example, not getting a steady job because they want to travel, only to find themselves in debt years later and are then forced to sacrifice their freedom so they can survive. If this resonates with you, consider spending more time in solitude with no distractions. Allow for stillness. See what needs to be unearthed within you. The explorer calls you out of your routine and into a rhythm with your deepest self and all that is around you. Yeah, and it's in that desire to explore and to be free that we don't do the things that we need to do to make sure that we can sort of maintain that lifestyle. I'm going to look and see what's before and after the explorer for a little bit of extra context and see. Yeah, this is how my brain works. Like I said, it works in metaphor and simile and things connected to other things a lot of times. The explorer. Ooh, the revolutionary and connect to heart. I love these energies. There we go. You can kind of see them. The rebel connect to heart with the doggies. Again, it's like, they're not talking, they're not facing each other. It's time for them to have that conversation. And then the revolutionary. Oh, I love the revolutionary with this page of wands that's going out to plant a new tree somewhere. The cards that came around the explorer. It's the warrior and strength. Strengthen the warrior. This is a Cicero energy. Cicero's been coming out. Cicero wanted to live a life of peace and harmony. He wanted to be a farmer. He wanted to own land and work the land and live off of what he worked to, whatever. But then war came to Rome, question mark. War came to his country. And so he had to fight. Even though he wasn't necessarily a being of like war and things of that nature, he had to fight to protect his freedom. After the fight was over, he lived the rest of his days doing what he desired. And that's speaking of Untitled Tarot, her Taurus video was about that. The things that we need to sacrifice to get what it is that we sort of want, desire. The Warrior also came out. It's the Knight of Pentacles in the Spencers. So the Six of Wands, the Golem was there. The Knight of Pentacles was there. I don't remember what else was there. But last time we saw the Golem and the Knight of Pentacles, it was the knight, the warrior was inside the ring of fire doing the bidding of the person who summoned them. And so again, it's disconnected from the truth of the self. It's interesting because in this Explorer card, the heart opposes the third eye. And in a lot of ways that we think about the heart and the third eye, it's like they're never opposed to each other. They're always more or less pointing us in the same direction. But there is opposition here. And then the card of connect to heart, which was with the revolutionary. It's the army of lovers cannot lose. It's exactly that energy. All of this is the card that literally came out in the beginning. The card that fell out like 50 minutes ago. Connecting to the heart is a revolutionary act. And facing certain things. And it reminds me of what Reem was saying yesterday about how like she will like defend herself if she's like poked or prodded or whatever. And then how people will comment, "Oh, you must not be that high vibe. Oh, you're low vibrational because you're responding out of anger or whatever." I feel like that energy is here because it's almost the set. It's like the sort of things that we hold ourselves to, or how it's set up, how we set ourselves up to continue to suffer in certain ways when we need to just, you know, have these conversations. That was a lot. Ooh, oof. Three of Swords, King of Swords. And look, these are illustrated by the same person. And they have painted glass motif to them. The painted glass motif, especially in the Three of Swords, is how we're supposed to be able to find love and community in the church. But for certain groups of people, they don't. It's these spaces where we're supposed to be loved and accepted by the divine, but because of man, it invites division, which leads to oppression and other things in a space where it should not be. This is an energy, low key. It's like when Jesus makes a return, when Jesus comes back, and it's like there were, I remember, it's like people were told to, I think it's like they were told, see, I might be confusing the plagues, but they were told to mark their doors. I'm pretty sure marking their doors with the blood of a lamb was to prevent the plague from hitting their houses back when Moses was freeing the Israelites from Egypt. People were told to do something to be prepared for the return of Jesus. Some people did it, some people didn't. Some people knew to do it, but they chose not to do it anyway. And so when Jesus made the return, they tried to enter those spaces, and he was like, I don't know you, because they didn't do what they were supposed to do in those moments. And there's this energy of like the churches, or some churches, getting so far away from the teachings that in the space of the return of the Holy One or Holy Ones, it's like they're ignored. They're bypassed. They're not accepted because of how they've deviated from their own teachings. This is the return of this one, passing judgment on those that would supposedly be in that space. And it's not because they didn't know better. It's because they got caught up in whatever they got caught up in. I don't know. Oh, white dog wave spell. Chino's a white dog, technically. He got a lot of spots. I can watch Cruella. Speaking of a Dalmatian. Two of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. I've been seeing those cards lately. The Knight of Pentacles has been coming out a lot in this deck. And the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles make an appearance all the time in the Prime Tarot as of late. So let's get like a final card. Like one card would be gorgeous. I'm gonna pick one card. So the Page of Cups. Bottom of the deck is the Two of Pentacles. This is higher. Who was that? There was some random dude that I don't know. He popped up. He was live. He's some spiritual dude or some YouTube within the spiritual community dude. I don't want to put no labels on somebody else, right? And he was talking about this, how on a higher perspective, there are certain things that are true and certain things that are not true. and then it flips on the lower perspective. That's what this is. I was thinking about the third eye earlier today, maybe because I watched Cindy Awakening to Spirit, her Taurus reading, and she talked about how our third eye is sort of our ability to process what we receive in the crown. All the chakras are connected, so a blockage in one can manifest blockages in all of them or in other ones. It's like how one bad apple can sort of ruin the whole bunch, right? And I was thinking about how it's set up, and it's like there are these two channels. We have the left channel and the right channel. Now, when it comes to the third eye, they cross. And then in the crown, it's like they're on opposite sides. So the left channel in the body, it's like how the left brain controls the right side of the body and the right brain controls the left side of the body. It's very much that energy. There's a point at which they cross, which means that there's also a point in which they are the same, indistinguishable from one another. That's where the dolphin plays. This and that are true. And it reminds me of Echo, that game that I used to play but didn't really like on the Sega Genesis. Echo was a dolphin and he would travel between different dimensions and different worlds. That game was so hard. It was so hard. Shout out to back in the day, on the old systems where games were just difficult. They were impossible sometimes, and that's just what it was. But also shout out to the cheat codes that we had back in the day for like infinite health and infinite money and things like you needed the cheat codes because the games were so difficult. um but anyway, this oh what girl, so remember how I told you that this Knight of Pentacles keeps making an appearance? I picked up the deck and the Two of Pentacles was left here. So I look at the Eight of Swords and then I was like, well, there's the Knight of Pentacles. Eight of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. Eight of Cups, sorry. Eight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. It's about moving forward, but in a very MC Escher-esque way. Not really. But these stairs, the design of these stairs reminds me of the MC Escher's. I remember the name sometimes, but now that I want to remember it, I can't. It's the painting with the stairs that go like all over the place. It's the Tower card in the Santa Muerte tarot. Reem pulled it yesterday. And I was like, oh, that's a difficult one to get out of because if the stairs always change, it's like, how do you escape? And so it's almost a little bit of an energy of like an inescapable tower. Like we're going to continue to be in this until we get the right perspective to get out. I just watched Inception the other day and the MC Escher Impossible Staircase. It's one of the um, architectural hacks that they can use in the dream space. Anyway, and then the High Priestess is, behind this. So this Two of Pentacles energy, it operates on a level that is above what we consider to be duality and polarity. But with this Page of Cups energy here, we confuse it. It's like a short sightedness that we have as humans, where it's like we would think that we're up here, but in reality, we're down amongst the crowd, a lot of us, in a lot of ways, which is again the energy of the Three of Swords and the King of Swords. That when these energies come back, even though we think that we're doing the right things, we've gotten so far from the teaching, so far from the truth that we'd be unrecognizable. What hath been wrought on the fiery hilltop The statues of men whose names the angels forgot. It's that Penamue energy. Statues of men, that's the golems. Six of wands. There we go. Full circle. That's what I got. Best of luck. Excuse me. I saw it pop up because I just watched it. I was like, I'm not watching this again. It's not that I didn't like it. I'm just like, yeah, I just saw it. It's fine. Yeah. See, this is like the OG Samyaza energy. This is those who would assert themselves over others to give themselves whatever kind of feeling that they get, not realizing that they're still playing in the polarity that they claim to sort of be above. And I think that's one of the things about the Matrix that is easily lost. In the Matrix, I feel like, we watch the Matrix and we're like, oh, we got to bust out of the Matrix and blah, blah, blah. But in the movies, even the people who weren't in the Matrix, even the people who weren't plugged into the Matrix, were still in the Matrix. Zion was a part of the Matrix. That's how the machines could break in so easily. And the architect even told Neo at the end of the movies, we allow you to escape with this certain amount of people. You repopulate. There's this game that we play of humanity against the machines. But we have the codes to the city. We know where the city is, and we win every single time. Even when you're not in the Matrix, you're still in the Matrix. And at the end of the movie, the resolution that they reached wasn't to destroy the Matrix. But we're so obsessed with like breaking the system and destroying the Matrix. I don't know. It's something that we discover and that we find in time, or we don't. I don't know. So that's, I guess, how I'm going to end this. So I don't know. I know the fourth. Excuse me. I know the fourth one is supposed to be coming out this year, and HBO Max maybe has the deal with Warner Brothers? Question mark. Where they'll simultaneously release all the movies that are released in theaters on the streaming platform for like a month or something. And I was gonna wait until my free trial to watch it. Yeah, that's what I got. Um, that I mean, it was similar to the energy earlier. It's like it's time to do something new or to go about things in a new way, in a different way, a truly revolutionary way, right? Not in this like 3D revolutionary way where like on Earth we just play out these bigger cycles. It's like cycles within cycles within cycles, and we break one cycle, but the breaking of that cycle is just putting us into another part of the cycle, right? It's like, let's call it summer. You break out of summer, you experience fall. You think that you just ascended into the 5D or whatever, but it's like, no, you just moved into the next season. And then it's going to be winter, and then it's going to be spring, and then the summer is going to come again. It's going to be the thing that you just left again. And if the way that we handle and deal with and talk about astrology isn't proof enough that, we kind of sort of just keep repeating the same things over and over. That's the one thing about a human lifetime that doesn't do the species a lot of justice, I guess. Or it doesn't make it easier for the species as a whole to navigate progress. because our lives are so short that we think we're doing something new, but it's like what we're doing, and it's like how the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. We think we're being revolutionary. We think we're being groundbreaking. We think we're moving the wheel forward in a direction it's never been in before. And maybe not in our lifetime, maybe not even within 10 lifetimes, but it's been done before. I don't know what these flowers are, but if you know what those flowers are, maybe it holds some kind of message for you. It also reminds me of, I feel like the resolution in this energy. Go to Rustling Around, check out Thuggin' the Silent Valkyrie. It's a read that Russ did earlier, where the shadows are the key to moving forward. The shadows, the things that we don't want to face, that which we continue to demonize and villainize and push to the side, that which we ignore, they're the key to moving forward. And it's interesting because I'm just noticing this cat doesn't have a mouth. And it's how he said Thuggin was she's the silent Valkyrie because she doesn't have a mouth. And what we do is we project onto her. This is us projecting onto spirit, and spirit looking at us like, I can't even say anything because you have free will. So, you'll get there eventually, maybe. Ooh! The Queen of Cups is at the top of the deck, though. Yeah, yep, yep, yep. See? Queen of Cups is coming out with Kraken. Kraken and Leviathan energy, that's the truth of the divine that lies within us. The Queen of Cups has it figured out. This page will just keep projecting and doing this weird thing that doesn't really get it anywhere, but it's like that's also the nature of this reality. Just like it's like the law of manifestation, it's the law of attraction, right? So we can attract a certain ascension that is, it lacks substance. It's just the world making you feel however it is that you desire to feel, but there's no substance in it. That's what this is. There's no substance in the way that we've been going about ascension or something like that. That's why in the Mystical Dreams Tarot, in that Three of Pentacles card, Spirit was asleep in the tree, and we're picking off of the tree thinking that we're doing something, but Spirit is asleep the whole time. It's like a mirage, it's like an illusion. But, we've been in the desert for a while, so it's not surprising that we find that. And again, even the people in Zion, even the people outside of the matrix were still in the matrix. They just didn't know it because they weren't plugged into the system anymore. They thought that they weren't in it. But like the architect reveals, like, girl, like y'all really thought. That's why they get defeated so easily. That's why the machines like punch through everything. That's how the machines discover them, even though they don't know how or why the machines are here. The machine set up Zion to keep the one occupied, to keep the one busy, to take the one out of the equation. But in like again, the machines were still in control. And again, that's this empty sort of this ascension, this empty salvation with no substance. That's why, when Jesus comes back, he doesn't recognize so many people. because again, they've gotten like so far from the teaching, so far from the truth of what it was supposed to be about. And it's like, you're supposed to love and worship me. You're supposed to be one of my people. And how are you treating other people? When I like literally like, spent so much time, when he spent so much time, that incarnation, trying to show us how to be and who to be, only for, a couple of years later for us to be doing the complete opposite. And we do that in a lot of ways, right? Christianity is just easy for me because that's what I grew up in. So I have more of a knowledge of the context around it. What's interesting is, though, Ganymede is the water bearer. They just took pictures of the largest moon in the solar system, Ganymede. It's the moon of Jupiter. I think it's the Juno. Is the probe Juno? Was that the name of the probe? Hold up. Probe that took pictures of Ganymede. The water bearer of the gods. Ganymede was like some beautiful like boy or something that Zeus was like, "Oop, you're coming to serve us." Juno, yeah, Juno. NASA's Juno probe zoomed within just 645 miles. Now, when I read it, it was like it took a picture in the green sort of filter. They're still waiting on the pictures from red and blue to put it all together. But there was also something about, because the moon was in the position that it was in at the time, it wasn't receiving a lot of light from Jupiter. And so they were able to take pictures on a different camera too. I just saw that yesterday. But this reminds me of that like Ganymede energy. But with Ganymede being the water bearer of the gods, it also reminded me of Aquarius because the cup. It reminds me of the Page of Swords that came out in the SKT yesterday. I believe it was yesterday or earlier today. It was earlier today. The Page of Swords came out with the owl holding the letter, and Justice was also there. Page of Swords was the eyes of Justice because Justice is blind. Justice's eyes are covered. This is someone watching on behalf of someone much greater. We're being observed in this space. Yeah, this is interesting, but again, not really. I mean, like, this is, humanity. We do the same things over and over and over and over and over and over. But we're learning, right? We're getting there. Yeah, Loki did come out yesterday. I know somebody mentioned that. I'm not really a Marvel person, so, I'm not really a superhero person in general. I was like, okay. Yeah, see, that's what this is. And it's like with Ganymede being the water bearer of the gods, it's like Ganymede is one of the first that you encounter before you go any further. So I don't know. Do with that information what you will. Take it as it resonates. If it don't resonate for you, don't take it. Right? Always follow the truth of your heart. I guess somebody's like, the heart will never lie to you. And I'm like, hearts lie to us all the time because we're human. We get trapped in our own perspective. We get hurt. And because we're hurt, we see the world in a certain way. I don't know. Who is this? Let's see. Oh, first quarter moon, September 13th. That's 2 days before my dad's birthday. The moon's southing is the time when it crosses the meridian. the north/south line that extends through the zenith, the point straight above an observer. At this time, the moon is highest in the sky for the day. So it's like moon noon. Here's moon noon coming out. Oh, that's another. What is that? Oh, it's starting to hurt my brain just trying to think of it. I don't know. There was a card. Is it the Ten of Cups? It's not the Ten of Cups in the Mystical Dreams Tarot, but it was like the trajectory of the moon in the sky. It was on Instagram. Well, that's different. There was something I saw on Instagram. There's something about the transit of the moon in the sky. And with that moon noon energy, Hungry Horse was I just saw Hungry Horse, meaning it's a chariot energy that's starved, right? If the horses are hungry, the chariot isn't going to move anywhere. But it's like that one episode of SpongeBob where they use their imagination, right? Moon noon. Yeah, it was something about when the moon is in position and something, but I don't remember. I don't know what it was or is. Sorry. It's moon noon because noon is when the sun is the highest in the sky. So, no problem. I'm going to have me some good old H2O. I committed to today. I could go another day. I'm not necessarily hungry. I just like want to eat. And it's weird because it's like I want something like good, something savory. I had Taco Bell last night. Not that it wasn't tasty, but still. And I think I realized today that I really want to start cooking more. And it's something that like I've been talking about, but I think I'm going to actually start doing it now rather than just talking about it. Which is interesting, right? Because, it's a solar eclipse. It's time to do new things. I didn't know it would take a water fast for me to be like, yeah, I think I'm going to actually start doing that cooking thing more. Because if I eat food, I want it to be good. And a lot of times I settle for not that great food because it's convenient or easy or because I don't feel like cooking, which is convenient and easy. Wow. All right. I'll catch y'all later. I am going to sit with myself. I might just do that. I might just stare at the ceiling. Maybe I'll put on a binaural beat or something. I haven't meditated in a while. I haven't explored in a while either, really. Well, not really. Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like I got a piece today. I'm like, oh, but like I knew you were coming because like I've literally been told. I've been preparing myself to receive what I received today. Preparing myself. I have been prepared to receive what I received. Um, I'm pretty resistant to a lot of things. I'm not, but I am. I'm not resistant to information. Where I find a lot of resistance a lot of times is integration. Like I'll hear it out and I'm like, oh yeah. But am I necessarily going to change what I'm already doing? Not always. And so the same holds true for spirit. Like I talked about at the end of that video, like energetic healing is something that comes very, very naturally to me. but I don't want to be a healer in this lifetime. So I'm not even going to explore that gift. Just like with community is something that I've really been experiencing this year. But it's something that I had to be it took me a while. I was in the preparation for that for a minute, right? And first Spirit brought the idea to mind. And I was like, ew, like I've experienced community on YouTube and it's kind of like not that great. The pieces, the parts of community that I experienced weren't great, like at all. And I got the feeling I knew it came to me that I needed to ease that resistance and that I needed to do a little bit more. And I was fortunate enough to find people who cultivated very safe spaces. And so it was easier for me to share in those spaces. And then, one person introduces you to like 15 people and they're all cool. Um, and now here I find myself in whatever this will be. So it's not that I'm never it's not that I'm necessarily opposed. Well, it's not that I'm not opposed to it because I kind of am a little bit. The resistance there is relaxed. Like if spirit is like, "Hey, like it's time for you to do this," and like I'm not gonna not do it, right? Um, and that's some resistance that I have, I guess. And I started to talk about it yesterday, but I don't think I finished it. The reason why I love cards is that for me, it's an energetic barrier. It's an energetic boundary, right? I don't have to personally like go into someone's energy. The cards can do that for me, and then I can like read the cards from this side. And there was a point in time where it's again like if I connect to something, I connect to frequency, I connect to consciousness. I find spaces and I find people in spaces. And so there was a point where I wanted to hone in on and refine that ability to like tap into an energy. But then again, because of the weirdness of some of the communities that I came across, I was like, better not. I'll use the cards, so that way I'm not in all this weirdness. And maybe that's another thing that it's time for me to sort of relax. Oh gosh, I feel like I was tricked. I was deceived. I was deceived into welcoming this aspect, and I feel like it's this aspect of self that's going to be like, yeah, let's do that. Let's really go in and like help people to the best of our ability. If we can heal someone, why wouldn't we? I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have left you where you were. I'm kidding. But it is a side of me that I honestly feel like, at least in this space, I haven't explored it much. And I am excited to explore it. So, oh, they got me. They got me. Darn it. It's that curiosity. I'm like, oh, what does that mean though? It means a lot. It means that my path forward may not look like what I hoped it would look like, but it also doesn't mean that it won't. It's fine. I'll work it out. This is a whole bunch of me stuff, right? You don't need to be here for this. These are things that I will continue to contemplate and to receive and to lure resistance in um, throughout the rest of the day. Is the moon already in Cancer? Because it was like the moon moves pretty quick. Oh, yeah, the moon is 28 degrees Gemini. So by the end of the night, it's going to be in Cancer. It's going to be moving into conjunct Venus and then to conjunct Mars. I wonder if the moon is going to hit Mars in Cancer or if it's going to hit Mars in Leo. If it hits Mars and Leo, it'll be early Leo, probably like 0 degrees. I don't know. Yeah. Mm, just trying to be hashtag relatable. Not really. I feel like I should just talk. Maybe I'll go on my other channel and do that. No, I won't do that. So the video is over. I mean, the video's been over. I feel like I already said when the video was over. Is there any more me stuff to talk about? Because apparently that's what I'm doing, like yesterday and today. I don't think there's any more me stuff to talk about. The rest is for me to figure out within myself. I do want to connect more to those spaces, those sacred spaces. Um, yeah, they should have expanded because of this new part, because of this new piece. And I feel like there were certain things that I was trying to do in that space, but I was trying to do it while also holding on to all of the resistance that I had. So, of course, it probably didn't work as effectively as it could work now. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to do that. I don't know if I'll necessarily do a whole week, but since I'm already doing a water fast, might as well, right? I might do it tomorrow too, even though I do kind of want to eat. I'm not even necessarily hungry. I just want to eat. All right, that's what I got. I'll catch y'all later. I hope you have a good whenever you see this. It was lovely to see Mimi and Zelda. I hope that y'all are acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. More so than that, I hope that you are in a position to receive clarity where clarity will benefit you. That you relax resistance where relaxing resistance will benefit you. That you will be, rather than being so concerned with seeming to be or wanting to be. It's like when we can want to be so badly that we just aren't. But at the end of the day, we're all human. So, I feel like I say that we're all human as if being human isn't something amazing and wonderful and spectacular, as if being human doesn't give us capabilities to do things that we probably otherwise not be able to do. Being human allows for so much flexibility. I don't remember. I feel like I had to have heard somebody say it throughout the course of my journey that there are like spiritual entities, individuals who can't wait to incarnate on Earth because of what Earth gives the soul the capacity to learn or understand, evolve, change, and grow. I don't know. See you later.